Everyone. It's so good to see all of you here, some familiar faces. Welcome to our Spring 2026 Jammy Career Chat Kickoff. Our topic this month is funding your dreams, and this is just a great opportunity to learn about the creative ways that you can pursue your educational and business aspirations through diverse funding strategies. My name is Yas Hardaway, and I'm the Executive Director of Career Services at GSEP. And this program is a partnership between our career services and our alumni engagement teams. So for those of you who have been to our Jammy programs before in the spring, we have our Jammy Career Chats, which are interactive breakout room conversations. So we'll have an opportunity to hear from our different speakers, and then you'll get to pick the breakout rooms you'd like to go into to learn more and to ask your questions. All right, so I'll start by sharing just briefly our learning outcomes, some housekeeping items, and then I'll turn it over to Dr. Renee Dorn, our Director of Alumni Engagement, who will introduce the moderator and today's topics. And then our moderator will introduce the speakers and have them each speak briefly about their respective topics so that you can be prepared to select the breakout rooms that you'd like to go to. And you'll have an opportunity to go to 2 breakout rooms during our time together. And then we'll come back in the main room and close out with some resources and then tell you about what's next. So we hope through these Jammy programs that you will increase your clarity, gain more confidence, and expand your community of industry professionals through Pepperdine. In the chat, my colleague Franya will put a link to our participant drive. And in the drive, you'll find the speaker lineup. And then after the program, you'll also have access to the recording. Just keep in mind that the breakout rooms will not be recorded. Okay, without further ado, let me hand it over to my colleague, Renee Dorn. Dr. Dorn?
Thank you, Yaz, and welcome everyone to our Jammy session, our first one for the spring 2026 session. Thank you for joining us. I am Dr. Renee Dorn. I'm GSEP's Director of Alumni Engagement, but I'm not just Director of Alumni Engagement, I'm also a GSEP alum from our EDOL program. So I always love to have alumni participate in events, and we have several alumni participating today. So first, let me introduce you to our moderator for today, and then I'll let you know about the breakout rooms that Yaz was talking about earlier. So our moderator for today is a double alum. He is an alum from Grazio Dio from our MBA program and from GSEP, our EDD in Organizational Change program. He is professor and program director of the Master of Arts in Social Entrepreneurship and Change, and he is co-founder and CEO at PharmaPlan LLC and Shawshank Therapeutics, Inc. Our moderator for today is Dr. Stephen Kernan. Welcome, Dr. Kernan. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you, Renee, and thank you, Yaz. It's always great to partner with you. And today, you're going to hear from a great lineup of colleagues here. And I really love hearing somebody from Peru on this call because I'm sitting down in Australia, so I'm hoping that my internet connection continues as well because we are a global university, and that's what's wonderful about it. But today, you're going to hear from 4 amazing breakouts that's going to help you fund your dreams. And I'm going to introduce them all in just a bit. And we are all alums and very affiliated with Pepperdine, so we believe in what we're doing. So I want to say thank you all for being here today because we're here. We love it when you're here. We want this engagement. That's what we're all about. We're a very high-touch university, so we want to engage with our audience, our community, and this is what this is all about. So I love when Yaz and Renee does this. This is just an amazing way to engage with everybody.
Each breakout room will have different speakers. So the first breakout room will be for crowdfunding. The second one, grants and creative funding. The third breakout room, startups. And then the fourth one is diversified income streams from credentials to capital. And so at this point, Dr. Kernan will introduce each of the speakers for the breakout rooms. All right, Dr. Kernan, I'm taking it back to you.
Okay, here we go. Well, let's go in reverse order. Let me start with Dr. Judy Ho, a wonderful colleague from our psychology side, and she's going to be doing the diversified income streams. So, Dr. Ho, want to introduce yourself and just talk a little bit about your session?
Yeah, hi Steve. It's so great for you to moderate today. I'm really glad to be here with all of you. Thank you guys so much for coming. I'm Judy Ho. I'm a professor of psychology, and I also am a clinical and forensic neuropsychologist and a published author. So happy to be here to talk a little bit about, I'll say maybe non-traditional forms of funding, but also kind of creative ways of funding. If you guys like to infuse creativity along with your professional work, then we'll have lots to talk about. We'll talk about book publishing, we'll talk about media and being in the media as an expert witness work, as well as speaking in a variety of different nonprofit and for-profit institutions and organizations. And a more recent job of mine has been to be the consulting psychologist for the LA Clippers. So we can talk a little bit about that as well, and how we can provide services to the community while also diversifying your income streams.
And that's wonderful because I love seeing Judy on ESPN. I tune in every now and then and I go, I know that person. And it's wonderful seeing her there. And it's a great way to figure out you have your professional degrees that you're at practicing, but there's other ways that you can monetize that as well. So, Judy, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I'll go next one, the startups. Jeff Forshey. Jeff, do you want to talk a little bit about who you are and your particular breakout?
Absolutely. So my name is Jeff Boucher. I run a software company called Fade, which is after financial aid, basically reverse financial aid to show students how they can get into college for free. Because like if you look at the state of California, you got about 60% of the students that can go for free. They just don't know how. Ultimately built a few businesses. I've raised money not only as a business, but I've also raised money for funds that we're raising to start up their capital for their fund and start buying it in the alternative asset space. And, they do a lot of, and so I have a bit of experience in different markets of raising money. And whether you're raising money as an LLC or you want to do it as a C Corp, or if you have questions about that, however you might, and what vehicles you might use, like a bridge note, if you've been told about warrants, we can talk about that. There are different ways that you can fund your companies and how to do it. And really, a lot of it just has to do with understanding what are the first steps you need to take. But I'm excited to be here. I worked with Dr. Kernan on the advisory board for the SEC program as well. And I'm just super excited to be in another program with Pepperdine because these things tend to go very well.
And Jeff is amazing because he's very popular with our students because they all go, "Ooh, I love that! Help me pay for my education and money that's out there." And he's great because he connects with people that are widely our community, so the children of our students and everybody else. So Jeff, I appreciate you being here. This is a great topic. He's going to talk about startups because it's a great way to also fund your education. I'm a believer in entrepreneurship and startups, so that would be a great session to go to if you want to hear a little bit more about, well, how do you do this as a startup? So thank you for being here, Jeff.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to go to Erica Jeffries. I keep wanting to use your previous name, but I forced myself to say Erica Jeffries, and this grants and creative funding. And Erica, please talk a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, Dr. K. Good afternoon from Detroit. Good morning if you're still, or I guess early afternoon if you're still in LA. I am a director of impact and engagement for Gratitude Network, which is a small nonprofit that talks about leadership acceleration and organizational scaling and growth with nonprofits. And so my session is going to be around creative ways to look into grants and other avenues for funding your dreams. I have been in the nonprofit sector for 26 years this year. And it's been a whirlwind, but I've seen and done just about everything. And so I can tell you from experience as an SEC alum from cohort 5, to being an AmeriCorps alum, to being now a Goldman Sachs 10K small businesses scholar, there are plenty of ways out there to get to where you want to be. And some of them don't actually require upfront funding to get there. So let's talk about that. in our session.
And that's great. Erica was a member of the amazing cohort 5 that they called themselves. And now we're at also on cohort 20 now, believe it or not, Erica. That just kind of puts it in perspective. But Erica, that creative part is what's amazing, is that how you can get some of this non-dilutive funding to make your dreams come alive. So again, Erica's a very popular person in the program because it's a way to get this in London to make your dreams come alive. So thanks for being here, Erica. And then Raven, you're not going to hide, Raven. Raven and I are going to do the crowdfunding session, and I'm going to talk about in the crowdfunding session how to get creative about funding portions of your education through crowdfunding. And Raven, I'm going to ask her to introduce herself and tell her what she's going to talk about during the crowdfunding session. So Raven.
Good afternoon, everyone from Los Angeles. My name is Raven McCoy, and I am I'm going to say recent alum from the GSEP Social Entrepreneurship and Change Program with Dr. Kernan. And I am an educator, a facilitator, and I also do consulting. In my educator role, I advise high school and college students, help them with their financial aid and enrollment tasks and things like that for college, as well as I do some consulting for small businesses and nonprofits. But what got me there is being a part of GSEP as well and really learning how to crowdfund even just as a student. So the knowledge that I took from there and, applied to what I do now as well. So we'll be talking about, Dr. Kern will do most of the talking, but I'll be talking about my experience as a student in GSEP, as a student in social entrepreneurship, and how I successfully crowdfunded. And I've since then helped other people, help other students crowdfund as well for their education goals. So that's some of the things we'll be talking about in our breakout room today. Thank you.
Raven is very good. You want to ask her the questions because she's actually doing it now as well. So ask all the questions to Raven in our breakout session. Anyway, so on that note, it's a wonderful lineup, as you can see. It's going to be tough to pick which ones you go through, but Renee and Yaz will tell you how you may be able to get to 2 of these. But good luck. These are tough choices. I would have to hate to make decide to go to because they're all going to be very valuable. So I'm going to turn it back to Yaz and Renee, and then we'll go from there.
Great. Thank you again, Dr. Kernan. We're so excited about our session today, and you can see there's a lot of great topics. So you will have an opportunity to go into 2 breakouts, and we'll spend about 15 minutes per breakout. So let me just provide you with a little bit more context. So as you can see here, that these are the different breakout rooms, and I've also put that in the chat and the speakers per room. So you can view the speaker lineup and all the different bios just so that you have a little bit more information about each speaker, and then choose your own adventure. So once the breakout rooms open, you can pick which breakout room to go to, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. When you're in the room, we encourage you, if possible, to keep your camera on so that you're able to really engage in the room. To please share the space with others, we encourage you to use the raise hand feature so that others also have an opportunity to be able to share too. And then after about 15 minutes, I will invite us to switch breakout rooms so that you can hear a different perspective. So there's some sample questions here on the screen, but your facilitator in the room will also put those in the chat in case you need some help getting it started. All right, so in order to select your breakout room, what you'll want to do is once the breakout room opens, you want to click breakout room at the bottom of your screen. And then you can click on join for the breakout room that you're most interested in. So it says breakout rooms at the bottom of the screen, click that, and then you can click join. And then to switch rooms later, when I invite you to switch, click on breakout rooms again and select join again to go into your next room. So as a reminder, these are all the different rooms. And let me just check in with my colleague, Franya. Are we ready? All right. So Franya is going to open the breakout rooms now, and please feel free to transition into your room. The facilitator in your room will take a few moments to get everyone situated and then kick things off. All right. We'll see you soon. All right. Welcome back, everyone. I heard some great conversations in there, great information that was shared, and also resources. So facilitators, speakers, if there were resources that were shared that you'd like us to pass along, we're happy to add that to our resource list. Just feel free to send them to me directly, and I can add those on there as well too. So, all right, well, I'm going to turn it over now to my colleague, Katrina Blanchard, who will talk to those of you who are considering GSEP. We know that prospective students are also attending these events. So want to make sure that we put a friendly face to a name. So without further ado, Katrina?
Yes. Hi. So my name is Katrina Blanchard, and I am the enrollment officer for our Master of Arts in Social Entrepreneurship and Change program. Dr. Kernan, who is one of our speakers, is our program chair, and we're very happy to work with Career Services on this project. We actually have an entire class talking about crowdfunding and alternative funding sources because we know pursuing your dream is not cheap. But the resources are out there, especially when you're creative and you're determined. And Pepperdine could be a great resource for you. Hopefully, it would be an investment that leads directly into fulfilling those dreams and goals and propelling you to the future that you want. So, if you want to use Pepperdine's network, if you want to be involved in our community, if you want to learn about our programs, please reach out. I would be happy to talk to you about any program. I can pass you along to any of my colleagues. And I hope that you can become a Pepperdine student and then become an alumni, and then maybe you will be speaking at one of these. So thank you very much for the chance, yes, and I'll pass it back to you.
Great. Thank you, Katrina. And I'll pass it now to my colleague, Usman, to share a little bit about some of our resources. Usman?
Thank you, yes. So, a part of our commitment to promoting access and our vision here at GSEP Career Services is that every graduate will have the clarity, confidence, and community to access, thrive in, and transform our future workplace. And as part of our vision, we want to ensure that each of our graduates, including each of you, have access to our resources and services from an equitable lens and to be able to foster a sense of community and belonging for each of you while being able to honor your unique backgrounds and identities. And as part of our resources today, we have some resources for creative funding opportunities, including federal grant opportunities, as well as crowdfunding and fundraising platforms you can check out through some of these links. And then we also have some resources for our small businesses and for startup spaces. And then we also have our financial aid and scholarships page featured for our graduate school of education psychology in case you want to consider one of our programs as part of your educational aspirations. I'll pass it to Nadine to share more about our upcoming events
Yeah,
and our session today.
thanks, Usman. Okay, so we always appreciate your feedback. If you could take a moment to scan the QR code on the screen, or I believe the link, yep, Frania just put the link in the chat to the survey. It's very brief. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you do complete the survey, you will be entered for an opportunity drawing for an Amazon gift card. So thank you so much for doing that. And what's next? So stay tuned for the next installment of this series in March on the 18th, again at noon via Zoom. We are going to talk about licenses. So if you're on the clinical side, if you're on the psychology side, you might want to tune into this topic where it's going to be about which license, gaining insight into the clinical psychology licensure pathway for California, Texas, and Arizona. So we will have alums from each of those states talking about their experience. So keep an eye out for that, and you can register again via Handshake. And I will pass it along to Mindy.
Thank you, Nadine. And we are also across all of the different social media platforms. Depending on which one you use, we encourage you to follow us so that you can kind of see what events we have upcoming, as well as just extending your professional network, especially on LinkedIn, as well as our LinkedIn alumni group. And before we kind of close out our call today, thank you all so much for staying to the very end of our kickoff event. And I am going to take a group photo. So if you're comfortable, just turning on your camera so that we can take a group photo together. And I will count to 3 if you like to share also a reaction to kind of just add some emojis to our photos and make it really fun. And we will do that. So I'm going to take a couple. So 1, 2, 3, choose your emoji and smile. That was a good one, Curtis. Thank you. All right. And I'll pass it back to Yas to close us out. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mindy. I just want to thank again our speakers for being here, for taking time out of their busy schedules to provide their wisdom, their resources. It makes such a difference to our community to know that we can count on you to provide support and to help our students and alumni fulfill their dreams. So thank you again for your time. And to all of you who took time out of your busy schedules to be here and to commit to your own professional and educational development, we commend you as well. So have a great rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing you in March. Thanks, everyone.